If you're pointed right at an enemy, but every time you ADS, you seem to be on the side of them, you suck, but it's okay. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to make you guys an aiming demon, and you're going to be one of the best players in COD that you've ever seen in your entire life. Let's go. I have 10 points I want to talk about today, and the first one is crosshair placement, and there's different things you have to do with this crosshair when playing the game in order to play a lot better. You do not want to point it at the ground, but you do want to point it in doorways and windows and wherever you think enemies are going to come from, and Nuketown's a pretty good map because there's a lot of areas that enemies could come from each side. This here, they could come from that whole area, they could come from the door, they could come from the window, they could come from all here. They could literally be anywhere. So when you're beside this truck, you want to use it as a scanning point. You want to use your crosshairs, that little dot right there, and pretend it's your actual eyes. Keep it pointed there. You see nobody, start scanning the area as you're going behind the yellow car here. If you see no one, you're good to go. Now, if you're scanning and you do see an enemy, someone does run out, well, you just ADS and shoot him. If they're here, you just ADS and shoot them. If they're behind here, you just ADS and shoot them as well. You don't have to readjust, none of that, and you're pretty good to go. The next tip I want to talk about is in these settings, all right? Tip number 2, guys, here. In the settings, you want to go to controller settings, and you want to find the right actual sensitivity for you. Don't listen to what someone says. I might tell you don't go anywhere higher than 175. If 175 is high or higher is better for you, go for it. All right, guys, like you want something where, imagine this was an enemy here, you could just easily turn and snap and point directly at them. If this is an enemy and I'm using a sensitivity that's too high, it would look something like this. Oh, dang, now I got to readjust. Oh, I went a little too far again. Here he is. You're going to lose that gunfight. Or if it's too slow, it's going to look something like this. Oh man, where's he at? Oh, there he is. Bang, bang, bang. No, too slow, all right? You do not want that. You want something where you could just run, spin in any direction, and be ADS and pointed at least within a 10 little pixel area beside them so you can win your gunfights. Now quickly before I get on to the next tip, if you guys could drop a big fat like on this video, it helps me out a lot. It helps this video hit the algorithm a little more, so if you guys could do that, I would truly appreciate it. And maybe I'll buy you a cheeseburger, who knows. Another really important sensitivity is the aiming sensitivity, guys, all right? This is one that a lot of people don't really talk about too much, at least, and that's your custom sensitivity per zoom. I like my low zoom at 0.95. The lower you go, the lower your low zoom is. So this is gonna be a lot slower. This is really good for long range. It's gonna feel really nice and sticky at like here, right? The enemies, even if they're moving and stuff, you'll be able to stick to them. But up close, a really low sensitivity, you won't be able to follow someone if he's running all around, sliding everywhere. There's no way you're keeping up with him. So in my opinion, I'm gonna recommend somewhere, and this one I would recommend following, I'm gonna recommend somewhere anywhere at least between 0.85 and 1. I wouldn't go higher than this, and I wouldn't go lower than this. I'm going to pay at 0.95. It seems really nice, and I can still keep up with people in close range. At tip number 3, this might seem like a boring practice, but it actually works for a lot of people, and this is your micro adjustment. This is if you're aiming on sights, and you seem to be missing them a lot, and no matter what you try, you just can't seem to hit them. This is something that you want to practice, and I mean actually go into a thing and practice. Go into any map you want, find a little spot, like this 13 right here, and start shooting beside it. And the goal is, as you're shooting, and as your recoil is going up and stuff, you want to control it, but instead of bringing it back down to where you begin shooting, you want to bring it to your target, in this case the number 13. So I'm going to start shooting, but I'm going to finish here in the number 13 like that, and you guys can see it's really, really nice. Now I'm going to find another target, like that little orange circle right there, for example. I'm going to start shooting away from it, and then try to bring it into it like that right there. And this has no aim assist. I have nothing to help me hit this, and it just works out really, really nicely, so that this way, when you do get into a gunfight online and you aim down sights, but you're away from the target, you're going to be forced, and you'll, at least with practice, be able to stick onto them really, really nicely. At number 4, I want to go back into the settings, but this time I don't want to go to the controller settings. I want to go over to the graphic settings, and I'm going to preface by saying, if you're a good player, do not change your ADS field of view from affected to independent. If you're someone who needs help with this right here, go ahead and change it to independent. The reason I'm saying this, the reason I'm giving you guys that warning, is because there's always that one dude in the comments saying, dude, affected is so much better. Why would you play independent? Well, if you're so good at aiming, dude, why are you watching this video, bro? But this right here, I'm going to give you guys a good example. Look at this mannequin. He's the important one, even though I'm not going to be aiming at him. He's right beside me on my screen. When I ADS, I could barely see him. He is out of my screen almost completely. But this target now becomes really big and easy to shoot at, which is really, really nice. And if you're struggling with aim, this is what you want. But you got to keep in mind that your field of view gets a lot smaller, so anyone could sneak up beside you and you might not see them, all right? Now, if I go back here and I go into my graphics and I go from independent to affected, this is really nice because now I can see that whole entire mannequin, but he becomes smaller. He becomes a lot smaller, but my visual recoil, a lot of people, actually here is something, I'm gonna let you guys in on something, all right? Look at this right here. Look at my recoil control from affected, all right? I'm not gonna control it, you guys can see. I'm just gonna stop. Look at the visual recoil. That's the bounce that my gun is doing, all right? it's pretty drastic, all right? It's pretty crazy. If I go back here and set it to independent, everyone says that the independent recoil, the visual recoil, is a lot higher. But if I go like this, it doesn't look that bad. It honestly doesn't look as bad as you would think it does. Now, can I kill myself? Because I need bullets, man. I need to... Damn, that yellow was scary. If you want to get the rarest camos like the Gold, Arclight, Tempest, or Singularity, but don't have the time to grind, MMO EXP has got you guys covered super cheap, and someone will grind it for you. And within less than a week, you guys will have every single thing unlocked. If you guys need all those headshots, anything you want, they got you, and they have 24/7 support as well, so if you guys need any help, they got you with that as well. Use code IT'sNick, you guys will save 8% off. Trust me, it's awesome. Just click the link down in the description. At number 5, you want to aim with this movement rather than this movement, okay? Like, it got nerfed, yeah, rotational aim assist isn't that good anymore, but it was only a 50% nerf, and since then they've actually buffed it a little, so it's probably at like a 75% now from what it used to be. So rotational aim assist is still king, all right? So you want to make sure that you're strafing left to right in gunfights, because not only are you a harder target to hit, but your aim assist is actually going to be a lot stronger, and if you pair it with this aim assist, your right stick, you're going to be unstoppable. You're going to have some of the stickiest aim you could possibly have, so that's really something that you want to do. And in most gunfights that I'm in, I'm moving both sticks. You just got to train yourself to do that, and you're going to notice a world of difference. At number 6, I'm going to say you want to use head glitches. This will help with your aim. A lot of people say head glitches doesn't help with your aim. It does. If that's a target there, or if there's a target here or here, I'm a very hard target to hit behind this car, especially since they put it on this platform, which in previous games, it's never been on a platform. I don't understand that. This is like a wicked, probably the most wicked head glitch in COD at the moment. But yeah, this is something you want to do 100% of the time, and because you're a hard target to hit, it means that the enemy is going to miss a lot more shots on you, which also means you're not going to flinch as much in a gunfight, which is really nice because you can just go ahead and shoot them and not have to worry about a single thing. You don't have to worry about flinching and shooting the sky or anything like that. So it's just going to work out in your favor. And the head glitch, it could literally be anywhere. It could be behind this little truck. It could be right here, pointed at the spawn. It could be right behind this thing, pointed here. Anywhere that hides most of your body is a head glitch. Another one that's going to help you guys win gunfights is not aiming at the head, okay? Headshots might seem like the way to go. It might seem like a headshot is what you want to hit. It does the most damage. It's also one that's going to cause you to miss the most shots you could take. So if I start shooting at the head, my recoil is going to go up. Oh, look, I'm shooting the sky. I'm shooting at the head. He shoots me back. I flinch up. Oh, look, I'm shooting at the sky. I'm shooting at the chest now, the biggest part of the body to hit and the second most damage you could get in the game. He shoots me. Oh, look, I flinched. Now I'm getting a headshot. I have recoil. Oh, look, I flinched. Now I'm getting, or I'm recoiling up. Now I get a headshot. So trust me, guys, the chest is where you want to hit. And then sometimes you might actually get into a gunfight where you accidentally aim at the legs. Make sure that if you do accidentally aim here, point up, all right? Because if you shoot in between the leg, it's not going to count as a shot. You're going to miss a lot of shots like that. Or if you're shooting at the arms and you start going sideways and you shoot in between the arm, I didn't actually mean to shoot it off there. It's not going to count in game. So make sure that you're actually shooting at the chest at all times. That's where most of your bullets, even if your guns are going crazy left and right, are going to actually hit the target. Another one I want to talk about is to actually start shooting your gun before you actually ADS. All right, so we're going to take this little example here. We'll take this mannequin. You see those crosshair lines? I'm going to point at the wall just to make it easier for you. Those 4 little lines in the center of my screen that make a cross. That's the crosshair, all right? That's something that you want to know at all times. If I'm standing, it's pretty big, it's pretty wide, and if I go smaller, if I go prone, they get a lot tighter, as you guys can see. That means that anywhere inside those 4 lines is where a bullet will hit if I actually shoot while in hip fire, as you guys can see right here, all right? Actually, this gun is pretty good. It's doing the same pattern. There's a 4th one right there. They're never going to go outside of those 4 lines. If I'm standing nice and big, the same thing happens. It's going to hit anywhere inside those 4 lines, all right? So that's something that you need to know with the crosshairs. The further back you go, the bigger space they take. So if I'm all the way back here, well, now look, it hit all the way right there, all right? Because that crosshair is so much wider now. So keep that in mind, all right? When you get into a gunfight at this range, you might not want to start shooting before you ADS, but if you're in this range right here, those crosshairs cover almost the entire body, and there's probably an 80% chance that your first bullet is going to hit the target. So you want to start shooting before you fully ADS, because you're going to get a full second almost, or at least half a second of shots hitting before he does, because if he waits to ADS and you both start ADSing at the same time, look, I could shoot him. There's his arm off right there. I could start shooting and then ADS, and he'll be dead by the time I fully ADS anyways, whereas if he waits to fully ADS, he's going to lose the gunfight. Another tip I want to talk about is to play Search and Destroy. Search and Destroy, you have one life, all right? You're forced to try and stay alive. If you're playing Search and Destroy and you're running around like a headless chicken, you're going to die. But if you're playing Search, it's going to force you to learn where the head glitches are on maps. It's going to force you to play it a little bit slower and a little bit more strategic. So I could play Search and hold off this area, and I'm going to be forced in a long-range gunfight. There's going to be people on head glitches, which is going to teach you how to get people off head glitches a little easier. Search and Destroy is such a good game mode because just the way it is, just the way you're forced to win those gunfights, or else you got to sit and watch everybody else play. And the last thing I want to talk about, man, is if you're tilted, just stop playing, bro. Just leave that lobby. If you're frustrated, your aim is going to suffer, all right? Because it's just how it works, all right? You have tight hands, you have jerky movements, you're missing your shots, you might be shaking a little bit. If you feel tilted, just take 2 minutes off, bro. Leave that lobby. You don't have to stay in that lobby. You don't have to be there. Just leave the lobby, take a 2-minute break, and then come back when you're a little more calm. Same goes for if you live in cold weather. I live in a cold area. If you come from outside and your hands are freezing, warm them up before playing, all right? Trust me, it makes a world of difference as well. Now, if you guys want to pair these tips with the best setting possible for aim assist, for the stickiest aim possible, make sure to click this video right here, drop a like on this one, and let me know down in the comments below what is your KD in Black Ops 7. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Nick, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.